Hello, today I'm going to be talking about Henrietta Lacks. Henrietta Lacks was an African American. In 1951, she was diagnosed with cervical cancer. She went to Johns Hopkins Hospital to get treated for her cancer. This hospital was the only hospital that treated colored patients. According to the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, this was the era of Jim Crow, the era of segregation. She soon started radium treatment for her cancer. Many times she would complain about discomfort. The doctors ignored her. They would tell her to go home and return within a month. Unfortunately, Henrietta Lacks trusted her doctors and believed they knew what was best for her. According to the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, that was a time when benevolent deception was a common practice. Doctors withheld even the most fundamental information from their patients. Therefore, she was never informed that the treatment would make her infertile. Later on, Henrietta Lacks' cancer spread and metastasized and soon died at age 31. Her final request was for her husband to take care of their 5 children. According to New York Times, last access in 2023, she was being treated for cervical cancer. That's when they took tissue sample of cells and were handed to Dr. George Guy for research. Many doctors from this era used patients for research and usually without their consent. Unfortunately, in 1950, that was acceptable and legal to do such practice. Henrietta's cells were in the laboratory and were growing with intensity and accumulating. According to the Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, George Guy shared the news with a couple of his colleagues and started shipping those cells. Those scientists were also using them for research. Soon after, Henrietta's cells were all over the world. These cells are now called Hella. The nickname comes from the first 2 letters of her first name and the first 2 letters of her last name. Hella cells were one of the most important things that happened to science and research. In 1973, Henrietta Lacks' family learns for the first time about Henrietta cells. Finally, I will end my speech by explaining why Hella cells are so important. These cells have helped advance medicine in so many different ways and is still used for research. For example, they used the Hella cells to help develop the polio vaccine, cancer treatment, HPV, and mapping the human genome. According to Johns Hopkins Hospital website, it has also helped with the development of COVID-19 vaccines. Hella cells continue to grow and are being used in research all over the world. The Hella cell line have also helped with policies that help protect patients. For example, nowadays we have consents, HIPAA, informed consents, and also doctors need to inform us of the benefits and risks of any treatment. George Guy, Johns Hopkins, nor the Lacks received profit from Hella cells. However, George Guy did receive credit for the creation of Hella. Today we discuss Henrietta Lacks' cervical cancer, how they took her cells without her knowledge and consent, but how her Hella cells have helped advance science and research. Hella cells were the first immortal cells.